4x2 formation. Road change, down we go, racing for the first time this season. 3 hours of GT action, it's go.
It's very tight as they come down. Group of cars coming in, this has all got trouble written all over it. This is G3 cars.
Drop downhill there, head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one off through the gravel. As wide as possible as they drop downhill, put it down from the inside line. Yes, he did. Through he goes.
Good evening, everybody. How are we doing? This is race 2 of Tier 1 for AOR's Season X. Or Season 10, whatever you want to call it. Season X just sounds pretty fancy. I'm back. Sorry, couldn't get rid of me that easily. Thank you very much for the likes of John, Watts and Tim for covering for me and Jay last week. I heard it was a bit of an absolute cracker that we had for the start of the season. However, there's a bit of a change here too. I am, as always, I'm with you, but I'm joined by the one, the only Twin Barrel Jay. He takes part in a variety of different GT3 series on ACC, from AOR's Endurance to other bits and pieces. It's a firm favourite in the Brexit boys. It's the one, the only, the Jamie Ellis, Twin Barrel Jay. How you doing, buddy?
I was not worthy of that introduction. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good.
Really looking forward to watching some of the best in the business. Maybe showing me how it's done.
Exactly.
And, trying to pick up a few tips along the way, and watching some cracking racing around Barcelona.
That's the main thing. I like to think of us as I'm the Wish Alex Jakes, and you're the budget David Coulthard, and we'll just sneak in under the radar, and no one will notice. We'll be absolutely fine as long as we get all the bits and pieces correct. We make sure we're calling out the right things. I think that pretty much sums us up.
Again, flattering me massively. Yes. I think even a budget David Coulthard is, I wish. But yeah, we'll do our best to see and keep up with the action on track. And yeah, it's going to be incredibly interesting and close racing. I mean, already in practice, it's looking incredibly close as it did in the first race. So yeah, very competitive. And anybody, if they get the qualifying and the race right, could find themselves at the top here.
Yep, I think it is anyone's business today. We have got some names, though, that I've noticed that we don't have in this evening, or this season, actually. Just to name a few, we haven't got Malinowski, and we haven't got BMW Nils, but we do have some people that you will know. The grand return of Black Gold Saw. He's in a Porsche, everyone, he's in a Porsche. Hold on to your hats, because that's going to be fantastic to watch. Trevor Wenham, really, really well last season in Season 9, had a really, really strong season. Nice to see him do that. Luke Whitehead, Life Story Luke as we know him, he is currently running around in the championship position. He's at number 1. He won last time out quite spectacularly, actually. He managed to hold off, I think, for most of the race, Valentin Barrier and Igor, to take the maximum points. 100 points for him for getting the win. I think it was Ramazano, wasn't it? Sorry, I didn't catch the race. But anyway, we'll make sure that we get all of the action this afternoon as we dive directly into this part of the season. It's going to be fantastic. Anyone here that you are looking forward to seeing, Joe?
I mean, all of them. They I've had the opportunity to watch them practice for the last 20 minutes or so, and just the appreciation of the skill these guys have. Did see a few of them losing it through turn 2 and 3 though. That gave me a little bit of confidence that it happens to the best of us. But no, I think it's looking like it matters what car you're in, as it often does in ACC. Porsches and Ferraris looking like the two to be in currently, with them locking out 9 of the top 10 places. But no, I'm sort of on this voyage of discovery with you guys. I don't get to catch the races this often. I know a lot of the names, but as for the form and the riders and runners, I don't. I'm going to discover that as we go along.
I think you will. I think you'll close.
I think that's a diplomatic answer if I don't know.
It was very diplomatic, very safe. We're about to go over to the next session, forwarding over to qualification, and everyone eagerly jumps out. We'll stay, I think, with Trevor Wenham. We've been mightily impressed with his pace of recent. We'll just get some facts and figures up for you as well. So last season, I think Trevor Wenham finished in 3rd place. Let's have a little look. It was very, very close. Whereabouts did he finish at the end? Actually, no, it was a little bit further down, but still 6th place for Trevor Wenham. He finished just behind Mr. Tortellini himself. Mananowski was in 5th place. Dara McCormack, who I don't think we got this season, he was in 4th place. Yardier in 3rd place. BMW Nils in 2nd. And George Boothby, current championship, current champion. He's not racing this season, so really, really surprising. It's just been left wide open. We don't have a champion right now taking part. Anything is open. So this must be giving the likes of Luke Whitehead, Black Gold Saw, Semenensky all a real big push to get up to the top end. Someone who I was very impressed with last race, actually, was Petrochenko, doing very well, I think, finishing quite high up in the race. Whereabouts was he? I was quite surprised to see him. P7 for Jura Petrochenko, yeah, very good. Joe McCauley as well, not one that I know, but he got 6th place last time out, very well done. Then we've got Jardier, there you go, everyone knows him, he was 8th place, and then Hubert Semenensky in 9th, rounding out top 10 was Sebastian Apostle, I think that is, I don't know, but anyway, Sebastian was the last of the 10 runners. And then we go back and further on. Darren King at P15 obviously didn't have a great day. Samir Foch, he's in 17th place. A little bit further back, Hugo Merles finished just outside the top 20. And yeah, we had some remarkable DNFs as well that I managed to notice. I think Kieran Prendergast didn't finish last time, which was quite a big name. I think Dominic Galt, Kevin Niles also didn't finish last time out. So hopefully we'll see an improvement from those boys going forward. You never know. Anything can happen. It really can. But we'll keep an eye on what happens in the race. We'll keep an eye on what happens to those boys, and make sure we bring you all the action as it comes and as it goes. Did anyone take part into my little poll that I put up? Will Luke extend his lead? Yes, was got 18% of the votes. So you guys obviously believing very much in Life Story Luke's abilities. He got 17% at the end of that. No was 28%, nice, and not sure, but I like Melon's got a huge 58%. So it's good to see that everyone's on the same wavelength as me this evening.
I'd say 17% people had confidence in him, but you do have to balance that with 53% people that just like Melon's. So
Exactly.
tells you everything you need to know.
Everything I need to know.
You have found your audience here.
Oh, 100%. They know exactly what the score is. We're on board at the moment with Trevor Wenham again. He's currently in 2nd place. Put in, I think his last lap wasn't a representative one, but I don't think he's yet to set one. He's on it now. We're 11.
No times on the board.
No, 11 minutes in, and we still haven't got time on the board. Such is the way that this qualifying session is. I've always moaned about it. I think 15 minutes isn't enough, but hey ho, it gets them moving, I guess. Coming through 14 and 15. On the outskirts of 16 here, make sure you don't lose your lap, because you can do it very easily. I was telling Jay before and he was like, no you don't. Yes you do, easily lose the lap there. Trevor Wenham then crossing the line. He will go P1 for now. Grantas Caracas 4/10 back. Then we've got, I think that's Marcin Olars gets pushed down. Valentin Barrios locks in there. Black Gold Saw in a Porsche, 2nd place. He will have to improve if he wants to find another step on the podium. Conor Wright coming across the line now. Only good enough for 10th. Been straight pushed down to 12th place for the Van Wall Sim Sport boy. Interesting.
Well, it's lap 1. They'll need one more to get the equal tyre spot. So
right.
these are just early Sorry?
I said, all right.
I was just pointing out we're going to see a pole time of around a 42.6, I would have thought here.
Okay.
That's what the top guys will probably be aiming for once we get to the business end of the session. But I just wanted to point out, you don't get... I mean, these guys get much better heat and pace out their tyres in the first lap than I do. But they will need another lap to get the full pressure in them. And this will be their push lap now, I would have thought. But yeah, very impressive time nevertheless from Wenham. 43.1 already. And yeah, it's Porsche Ferrari in that top four as Macaulay now goes to the top in that Audi.
Wow.
Finding his pace that he was showing in practice as well. And looking to get that German manufacturer in amongst the Porsche and Ferrari party at the moment.
Yeah. Hate to interrupt you there, Jay, but we've got a marching Luke Whitehead at the moment. He is 4/10 up on his previous time. Only got him 6th place. It's a 1:43.4. Needs to find at least 4 or 5 tenths to get himself into the top spot. And as the track evolution does work its way out, he'll need a little bit more on top of that, I think. But anyway, he is 5 tenths up. Half a second in hand. Tyler, welcome, buddy. I am back. John Watts did a fantastic job with Timosaurus last week. Gave you the rundown of Misano. He quite kindly stepped in for me as I was sunning myself. But we're back. We're back. It's Season X. Luke Whitehead through the last corner then, just about to come across the timing line, and he does go provisional pole. 1:43.5, so almost dead there. Really, really sterling lap there from him. Good stuff.
That was majorly impressive considering he hit quite a bit of traffic through 14 and 15 as well. So there's definitely more time in there, but it's good enough for provisional pole at the moment. And, look at that, less than a tenth of a second between the top 6 at the moment.
I know. Absolutely crazy. This is the pace you get from the Alien Boys. It's fantastic to watch. What have we got going on a little bit further back? Trevor Wenham is a 10th up. I think he's got quite a bit of lap to go at the moment. Where is he on the helicam? Oh, he's coming down to 10. Yeah, he's got a little way to go. He's actually bouncing just on the bubble there slightly. So he should improve, but he needs a big old chunk of time, really. Black Goldsaw, where's he in a Porsche? Race Anywhere Simsport. Let's go on board with BGS. He's not in a boat. Shock horror. This is correct. Don't adjust your screens. It's Black Goldsaw, and he's not in a Bentley.
Well, he's joining the crowd, isn't he? But he's going to have to find his way with the setup. That Porsche notoriously difficult to get set up right, but when it does, my God, is it fast.
Yeah.
And already proving fast in his hands for the moment, as you say. We'll see if he can improve. Took quite a bit of curb on the exit 14, but nice and stable out into 15. Does improve then.
It does.
Up into P2. Great lap.
Fantastic, yeah, for the number 88 car. He's a man after my own number. That's my number. How dare you? Took the 88 from underneath me. Luke Whitehead, 3/10 up, Jay. He's on a charge, this man. He's got a nice new livery this season, I can see. It's part of the GT, whatever, Predator something Academy. There you go. Coming across the line, he does improve.
Yeah, I was looking back, and yeah, he's now into the 42s. First man into the 42s, so very impressive. I was looking, he best finished for second last season, but didn't start quite a few races, so presumably this is sort of a full racing return to AOR Tier 1, and he's carrying on where he finished, basically, from Misano at the moment.
Definitely. Colin Sinnott says in the chat, oh, no Astons, how the times have changed. Literally, how the times have changed. I reckon they do it on purpose, don't they? KUNOS just go, you know, what can we really annoy them with now? They've just got really used to that platform. Let's just make, I don't know, a Ferrari really quick. Why not?
Well, it is part of the meta that keeps a game like this interesting, right? And I think you said that slightly condescending, as though they shouldn't do that, but I feel it's quite right too. You know, everybody gets too settled in those cars, and it means that people will switch them up in between seasons, in between championships. So Porsche is definitely the car to be in, but it's a brilliant car around here because of the low braking, the slow corners, and the heavy braking zones. But it also has the cadence of being very easy to rotate in those slow speed corners, and it's not great at trail braking in comparison to the other cars as well. So they're quick over one lap, but it's going to be a tricky beast to tame for an hour-long race.
You know all about taming tricky beasts, don't you, Jay? We're on board with Hugo Merles. He's on the bubble at the moment. not quite improving his time, but I think is one to watch. He came across the line with a couple of tenths spare, so he's lost them in the first sector, so not too sure what's going to happen there. He's coming down towards turn 10, 6th place currently for Hugo. Black Gold Saw's in the pit. He's only got 5 minutes to go. He needs to find his socks and get on with things, because otherwise he's going to run out of time. Who else have we got improving? A little bit further back, we've got Gert Fischer. We haven't seen this boy before. Part of the Butterfly Effect eSport team, number 78, crossing the line. I think he's actually doing just about to start a lap, actually. I don't think that was a push. Who knows?
He did. Well, he improved to P23.
23rd for Fischer at the moment.
And, I mean, that is only 9 tenths off. Well,
I know,
that's
it's
the
crazy,
difference
isn't
between first and 23rd. That would have felt like the best lap of his life. And his heart would have sunk when he saw the position. But it was an improvement of 6 places, so yeah,
well
go again now.
Yeah. Going back a little bit further, or staying with the trend of going back, we're on board with Vanko Dimitrov. We know him very well. Looks like he's part of the Visceral Esports team this season, so it says in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. I don't know if that is the case. Sometimes they do it all wrong. But anyway, the paint looks good, right? Looks all blue and such with some wiggly lines. Why not? Looks fantastic. Coming through the final sector. Oh, it's a lot of oversteer. That's not the quickest way. He's going to lose some time on his sector, and he jumps over the curb. Oh, Dimitrov, that's definitely not the fastest way. We've got a Ferrari off in turn 16. He must have jumped out of the way. Not going to see an improvement for Vanko, or if we do, it'll be a tiny one. He crosses the line, and no, he didn't. At least a little bit slower, actually. Never mind, he lost a tenth, actually, in that final sector. So not the fastest way through for Vanko. And let's see what's going on towards the top end. I think it's all quiet on the Western Front at the moment, Jay. Joe McCauley going for one.
Well, Merles has improved, and but it's only, well, I say only, it's 0.005 off Luke Whitehead. So it's a big improvement into the 42s, but still not quite enough to challenge at the top of the table. But he'll know with that lap that the pace is in there.
McCauley third.
And, yep, he's found more pace in that Audi, also into the 42s then.
Yep. Jumped on top of that German beast and wrangled some more tenths out of it. Good to see from Joe. It's the only German beast in the lineup. Oh no, of course, we've got Porsches everywhere, haven't we?
I was going to let you have all your own sword on that one. See how long it took. Thankfully, not very long.
Not too long. It does say rain in 30, but as you can see at the top, it's 3 minutes to the end of qualifying. There could be anything in this session, I've been told. The weather conditions are more wild and more random than Toaster's livery packs. So it's going to be whatever whatever happens and whatever goes, unfortunately. So Joe McCauley is on a slowdown lap, but he's actually improving. I'm quite shocked. He didn't slow up. He must have fueled the car long enough. He's actually lost that 2 tenths that he had, I think, through turns 5. So never mind. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on what happens with him as he tries to improve. He only needs to find a tenth or so. The margins are so small. Look at the difference between Merlis and Whitehead. 5,000, absolutely crazy. And just a tenth.
That's what I mean. You get to the end of that lap and you think, where can I find that tenth? That was perfect. But there's always, a couple of meters in the braking zone here, a little bit of a difference in application of throttle there. And as you say, when those margins are that close, it could still be anybody's. A good improvement from Igor. I was keeping an eye on the 4 Bentleys of Igor, Valentin, Mikowski and Hardier. They're not performing quite as well here as they did at Misano. Not track favouring them, but still to get himself into that top 10. It's a great lap from Igor at the moment.
Definitely was. We'll go on board, I think, with BGS himself. As I know he's got a very unique style, this man. Racing on a controller, why not? I mean, we all have our flaws.
Apparently we have our flaws racing with a steering wheel and still being as slow as we are, right?
It's quite true. It's quite true. I wouldn't even be anywhere near this timing screen. Anyway, Black Gold Saw's doing a good job. He's obviously managed to get underneath this setup because he's still right up there in the top 10% of the drivers taking part this afternoon. But he's not absolutely running away like he would used to in his normal Bentley boat that he can't use anymore because they changed certain things, nuances that he uses to make the weird controller thingy that he uses work. So, yeah, you can tell he's moaned at me about it a couple of times. But anyway, it's good to see him back out there.
I'm sensing some kind of history here. I don't want to delve too deep.
It's fine. I'm just glad to see him out there, even though he has changed to the German way. But his livery is very cool. He's obviously teamed up with Trevor Wenham, I think, this season. He's part of the Race Anywhere SimSport team, which is fantastic. The paint looks great. Why not? Good little outfit they got going there.
Yep, they're currently leading the team's championship after round number 1. So,
fantastic bit of information there, Jake. I wouldn't have known that otherwise.
no problem. It was in there somewhere.
Thank
There's
you.
something in there somewhere.
He's got a 10th. He's got a 10th here. He could challenge the top 3 if he gets a good run and a turn 16. It looks good enough. Look nice and clean through 14 and 15. Here we go, crossing the timing screen. Oh, just outside. The first of the losers, really. P4 for Black Gold Sort. 1.73 to get. 10th and a bit, 10th and change, and he'll be right up there with the other boys. Got some improvements. Igor doing very well on this lap, actually. Only 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, those Bentleys starting to wind themselves up, as is everybody now. This will be the final run for a lot of them. And yeah, the Bentley's starting to find a little pace as Hardy has jumped up into the top 10 as the top Bentley in P9. So, yeah, we'll see what their final rounds have got, but I still think it's going to be between those Porsche or Ferraris, or Macaulay maybe can find a little bit more time in that Audi.
Comes Igor crossing the line. Does improve. B4, well done in a Bentley round Barcelona. Really good job for him. We've got final times then for a couple of boys here. I think that's Kuhn's not going to take any further past ground. Just Caracas is done. So's Bauer, sorry, not Barrier. They get confused. They're right next to each other as well, which is annoying. We got the number 58 and number 70, Vanko Dimitrov, also finished. Let's jump on board with one of the guys who is currently out there. Oh, big news, Luke Whitehead. He's confident enough not to put another time in. He's not going to go any further. If these guys are improving, P1 is up for grabs. Hugo Merles could steal it underneath. Oh, he's gone wide through 14. That's not the fastest way through there, and he stopped the car. That is it, I think, for qualifying. Where's Trevor Wenham? Coming across the line. P1's open. He doesn't get it. P2 for Trevor Wenham.
Proves, though.
Not enough. Black Gold Sword. Black Gold Sword. He's got to open here. He's 2 tenths up. He could sneak in and get pole from underneath Luke Whitehead. He must have made a mistake in the final lap. Here we go. Coming down towards the line. Is it enough for pole? It's not. He must have just ruined the lap. I didn't see where that happened. Black Gold Sword, they unfortunately have to settle for 5th. Macaulay does improve, gets himself a 2nd row of the grid. Good final lap from him, and I think that is really it. We've got just Perek, I think, coming across the line very shortly. Jardier apparently is on a lap as well, but I can't quite see what. No, he's in a pit. We are all done.
Yeah.
There you go.
Gets displaced by Perek, who
He
moves
does.
up into the top 10 with that last gasp effort then.
Fantastic stuff there. Chat saying Luke's been sandbagging all day. I don't think he has. I think he's right on pace there, but look how close they are at the top, Jay.
Well, he's right on pace, because what did I say pole would be?
142.
0.6.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Well done.
I do some research occasionally.
I didn't know. That went straight over the top of my head. Normally I'm the one who has the crystal ball in this season. Obviously, how the times have changed.
Well, let's leave it a couple of races first, shall we, before passing that title over.
Yeah, I think so. Right, let's go through the grid that we've got here this afternoon then, before we go any further. So Luke Whitehead, joined on the front row by Trevor Wenham. Mightily impressed with his performance so far this season. Joe Macaulay, we don't know him. I'm sure we're going to get used to that name because he's performing very well. He's on 2nd row of the grid with Hugo Merles, an old favourite battle axe in the back or mid-pack. He's now right up there in the top 4. Then we've got Igor and Black Gold Saw. They'll be, I think, on the 3rd row of the grid. Good to see them there. Black Gold Saw in that car. Very impressive with his pace. See how far he can push up. Then we've got 4th row, Matthias Kuhn and Malik Mamad, new guys to the season. Good to see them there. They'll be on row 4. Oh, goodness. Angel, well done. He's in P9. He's joined in the 5th row by Just Perek. We were just talking about him. Then we got Jardier and Samir Foch in the 6th row. Grantis Caracas and Florian Barrier will be on the 7th row. Valentin Barrier and Jura Petrochenko. Jura coming 7th, I think, last time round, so very well done for him. He's joined by Valentin Barrier there, I think, on the 8th row. Marco Yonkers didn't have a good qualifying session, but did very well last time out, and he qualified amazingly last time out. He'll be joined by, I think that's Maxime Chassé. I think that's how you pronounce it. Who knows? Anyway, He'll be there on the, ninth row of the grid. Then we've got Sebastian Apostel and Jan Marcel Dietrich on the 10th row. And we got Vanko Wunko Dimitrov, as well as, oh my goodness, Christoph. I'm just going to call you Christoph. Makowski, I think it is. They'll be on the 11th row. And then the 12th row is Marcin Oliars and Leon Barnett. Dominic Goltz, after the terrible race last time out, he'll be joined on the 13th row of the grid, I think, with Daniel Naves. Then we've got Gert Fischer, Hubert Simoninski, and then we've got Kieran Prendergast in 29th with Connor Wright in 30th in the 15th row. And then we've got Kevin Niles and Felix. Wow, that's a name. Felix, that's all you're going to get called today. Tazvinzawa Hacker. Why not? Felix, he'll be right at the back there in a lovely baby blue coloured AMG Mercedes. Felix, I'm rooting for you. The 898 car. Why not? Luke Whitehead, do you think he's going to close this one out? I reckon so. I think he can do it. You still with me?
I am muted. That's good to know. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy, that's for sure. Nothing in this game we call Motorsport is, but he's definitely showing the pace so far. It will depend on if he can get away at the front. Interested to see how Macaulay does. That Audi's a bit of an outlier up there, and the new Audi is I've not really seen in racing action at the moment, so interested to see how that goes. But a lot of it will come down to strategy as well. But yeah, Luke Whitehead showed a cool head last time under intense pressure from two challengers. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see if he can do it this time round. Yep.
Chat saying these monsters are fast. I mean, 1:42.6 was the pole lap. That came from Luke Whitehead. Incredibly fast round here. Luke definitely not life storing it around that lap. He was absolutely, his feet were on fire. He was gone. Trevor Wenham joining him up there. That's going to be really fun to see what happens between those two. Who's going to take a dive into turn one? Will Luke Whitehead? He's on the best side of the grid. Will he hold on? That's the big question. But knowing Luke, he normally qualifies 5th, 6th, somewhere around there, and he works his way through to get podiums and wins. However, he's starting from the front row. P1 for Luke Whitehead. We're about to go green as we do an outlap here with all the boys attached. So we've got a couple of minutes before we go green. Tomorrow in Tier 2, there'll be plenty of Audis. I'm not too sure about the Tier 2 bits and pieces, to be honest. There'll quite possibly be plenty of Audis. If you like your Audis, tune in tomorrow. 7:30, you've got John Watts, Tibosaurus, taking you live and kicking around Barcelona. But right now it's the Tier 1 boys, the fastest boys that we ever know, the fastest guys that get into the top split. Jay, top 3, what are you saying?
I can't really look past Whitehead for the win. I'm going to go a bit of an outline. I'm going to go Morella's for 2nd place, and then I reckon Macaulay for 3rd.
Okay, I'm going to go completely different to you. I'm going to say Trevor Wenham with the win. Luke Whitehead's not even going to finish. We're going to have Black Gold Saw 2nd place and Macaulay in 3rd.
You probably got more knowledge of this grid to recommend them do. I very much picked some names out there, but it depends how these cars deal with the hour-long race as well. How they can. Tyre wear's not going to be too much of an issue here with that mandatory pit stop, obviously on full fuel from the beginning. Yep. But when they pit and how they choose that strategy is going to be pretty key as well. As there's a couple of different ways you can go about it. You can obviously split yourself 50-50 down the middle to give you the exact same sort of set of tyre wear for both, or you can go a bit deeper into it. You're going to come back out probably a bit further behind, but you can have fresher tyres on a lighter fuel load to go on the attack. Or alternatively, if you think you're getting held up, you can make a little bit of a stop towards. Is it a pit window for AOR, or is it a
no?
So yeah, they could go nice and early as well. Some guys that maybe think they're out of position further back could get themselves out of the traffic, as the tyres will easily do. Probably 35-40 minutes before starting to see some performance deficit. But yeah, excited to see what's going to happen here. Yep. My first AOR Tier 1 race.
I know. It normally gives thrills and spills and a couple of tears, mate, I'm not going to lie. Lots of drama, but that's why we love it so much. That's why it keeps people tuning in. That's why it's one of the most things watched on AOR's YouTube. So if you fancy, you can hit a follow. That's a really, really shameless plug. There is also a Patreon now. What about Patreon? What are we holding out buckets these days, Jay? I mean, if you want to do the
That
Patreon,
might someday pay you a couple of pounds.
I
I wouldn't go too
Patreon me up.
aggressive on it.
I'm all for it.
It's expensive to run a league, man. It's a lot of time and effort from a lot of. I mean, I've just rocked up here. It's nothing to do with me, but you know, the guys that do put the effort in, the coordinators, the organisers, it's a huge amount of effort that goes into putting something on like this.
It is. It is. You can thank our sponsors as well that are still here. I think we're SIMSOK, Driver 61, all on the side there. You can see them, I can't. I've got full details of what's going on in front of us. We're about to go live. We're going through the final corners. And we're going to get going for 1 hour of racing around Barcelona. It's AOR's Tier 1, GT3, Season X as it's now been coined. Round 2, Luke Whitehead starting at the pointy end. Trevor Wenham just behind him. Joe McCauley and Hugo Merlers. We've got Kun, Eagle, Black Gold Saw. Who's going to come out on top? Not too sure. We're going to go across the line. Green, green, green. Luke Whitehead seemed to get a bit of a slow start off there. Trevor Wenham looks like he's jumped him. Really good start. Black Gold Saw there, weaving on the inside, trying to get past. You might go on board with him in a second. We're going to dive up the inside. Look at that defence there from Trevor Wenham. He does sneak his way up in. Oh, there's contact between him and Joe McCauley. Oh, and he's round. Luke Whitehead takes Eagle with him. Luke is over. He's out of it already. What did I say, Jay? I've got the crystal ball back in my hands.
You do indeed, yeah. It was a great start from Wenham. He actually had a little bit of an advantage on the line as they got away. And then, as he was looking to defend his turn one, I don't think he'd spotted McCauley, who'd made an incredible start down the outside. Looked to make a move round onto the inside of turn one. And Wenham just sort of drifted into each other. And that's left them with a lot of work to do now.
Yeah, definitely. Trevor Wenham is starting to stretch his legs. He's got Hugo Merles for company, and he's got his little, he's got his fighter.
I got the wrong way around. Sorry,
my
bad.
Matter. It's fine.
I forgot how slowly it updates in STC.
It's
It
fine.
was Luke Whitehead, wasn't it?
It was Whitehead that was round. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it took the shunt, I think, from Joe McCauley, who's actually still there inside the top four, or I think he's fifth actually, just outside the top four. Has he got going? That's the main thing. Has Luke Whitehead managed to keep going? I hope he has. There's plenty of points up for grabs this season. He has. He's in 22nd. He's right in that middle pack. Needs to do something different. He's with the two Hondas, I think, going round at the moment. Semensky and Olars. Hats off to you, boys. Fantastic that you're riding Hondas in Tier 1. Really, really good stuff from those. But there's another little Honda wall there blocking Life Story Luke from marching on as he really desperately needs to. As we go back with the top boys, Black Gold Saw is the rear gunner at the moment for Trevor Wenham, who's already got himself half a second in one lap, Jay. It's a good start for these guys. Race Anywhere Sim Sport currently leading the championship, and they're leading quite nicely into turn 1, lap 2.
Yep, they got that Ferrari in between them that stops them controlling the race together, and Merles is looking incredibly racy in that Ferrari and looking a bit more comfortable at this stage on the heavy fuel load. That Porsche will be pretty much on a knife edge at this point with the heavy fuel load, and Merles climbing all over the back of him, as you say. Gold Saw there as the rear gunner of the team at the moment with that fantastic start and avoiding the chaos up into third. McCauley's still there after that turn 1 incident in 5th. Yardier's made a really good start up to 6th place. He was 10th, wasn't he? 10th or 11th.
Yeah, he's really come
so
on.
He's made his way around there.
With the changes that KUNOS has made a couple of updates ago, it really changed things for Jardier. It's improved massively. I think he was 3rd or 4th in the championship last time. He actually got a win, Jay, in Tier 1. Crazy stuff. He got a podium and a win last season for Jardier. Absolutely fantastic season for him. So obviously he's still on form. 6th place for him at the moment, and arguably he's got people around him. He's just as faster, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he finishes at the end of this. There's some people ahead of him with damage. Joe's definitely going to have a little bit of an issue on that side pod because he went side to side quite viciously with Life Story Luke. So I think Luke Whitehead will get some respite from that. I think there's a penalty coming Joe's way. It was an accident, but I know these stewards and they're pretty tough for Tier 1, so we'll see what happens with them. Hugo Merles is keeping up here with Trevor Wenham, but Black Gold Saw and Matthias are slowly clawing in those tents to get up to the back of that car.
Yeah, absolutely. He's still got Merles climbing all over the back of them, although Wenham looks a bit more comfortable now. And that's the kind of distance that these guys can drive with that pressure. I'd be sailing off the road with a car climbing all over me like that. But the rest of the grid is sort of caught up a little bit. There's a little bit of traffic there as one of the Bentleys coming back out after pitting for damage. And just about makes his way through that. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting suspects going with them there. And you've got to say, with Luke Whitehead having those issues into turn 1, it really opens up this race for any of these guys to have a really good result now.
Yeah, definitely. Some people in the chat asking how was Wenham in front of Luke Whitehead before the start line. He just got a better start. Harry Spies.
He was ahead of him. That's what I was saying.
What, at the start?
His car was a little bit ahead when it went green.
He obviously got the run up just that little bit better timed than.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how it works in ACC with that formation grid, because from my experience, you can start a little bit ahead of the car ahead of you as long as you're not out of position. But I don't know how it works for first and second. That might be the difference. But yeah, he definitely had the jump on him in terms of a position, and then got the better start as well. But yeah, we'll see. He's at the front now, as you say. Those decisions will be later in the race. Or after the race, should I say, for the stewarding. For now, we can just concentrate on the cars that are in front of them.
Oh no, Jay, we have live stewarding here. It's all good.
Oh, I'm not used to the
Jay.
A luxury. Okay.
It is. We've got boys looking at all the data behind our backs. It's live stewarding here. This is AOR. This is Tier 1, mate. We get all the live stuff. Jardier is hustling here. He's getting all over the back of Joe McCauley. He's actually getting all over the side of Joe McCauley into turn 3. Really nice. Round the outside, but doesn't really have the momentum to carry him in that big old boatley of his. Two massive wagons going toe-to-toe.
He lined him up really nicely there because he backs off just the slightest amount to get the better run to see if he can maybe have a look into turn 5. And he does get the inside line. He's going to be stuck on the outside now. McCauley should get it done on the brakes here. But I've seen Jardier go around the outside of many a car. He'll struggle to hold it round there.
He's doing
does
it,
so.
Yeah, toe-to-toe these boys.
He definitely won't hold it round the outside of that one. I'm going to be right at one point. There we go.
But he gets a good
He switches back again. It's such a good racing brain the way he's doing that, and ensuring that he lines him up, and they're making split second decisions at 180 miles an hour.
I think he's going to go inside turn 10 here. Looked like he broke early to get a good run out of that I think turn 9. But it didn't come off for him, unfortunately. A little bit more space on that straight. He might have actually had a run on him, but never mind. Jardier looking at all the lines to get past Joe McCauley at the moment. Probably slightly damaged Joe McCauley. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on what goes on there. Shall we have a little drift back? I think we should stay where we are at the moment, to be fair. It looks like some of the best racing we've got. I can see that we've got Felix back there. Is getting quite close to the back of Marco Yonkers. There's only one tenth between those boys. Let's maybe just have a quick look. Oh god, there's a massive gaggle of boys there. Jura Petrochenko actually rubbing slightly with Luke Whitehead. Luke is on a charge. He's out of the bottom 20 now. He's in where is he now? He's 19th place. He's improving lap after lap. So good stuff from Luke Whitehead. He's actually in 18th. He jumped another person. So next up for Whitehead is Yonkers. That should be interesting to see. And who is that? It is. Felix started at the back, didn't he? In the baby blue AMG, I think he did.
I think he did, yeah, because I remember you mentioning it.
He's in 16th place, Jay. He's got halfway up the grid.
You were wishing him luck, and it's definitely got him in the right direction. I've been watching Luke Whitehead on and off. He's definitely driving a little angry out there. He's made some very late moves, but that's kind of what he needs to do to get some points back in this race. But yeah, Felix, you say up close to 16 positions.
Yeah.
So
hacking his way through the field, Jay.
Indeed. Baby Blue obviously doing him well in that Merc today.
Like a slippery seal as he squids through the old grid. We're back on board with Jardier as he tries to get onto the back of Joe McCauley, but it's not happening. He's drifted back a couple of tenths now. The gap's fallen, I think, 5 tenths so far. But we do have a bit of a race going on here, as you saw just in the left of your picture there. We've got Kun and Black Goldsaw going toe-to-toe. Looks like they've actually swapped rounds, because Black Goldsaw was in 3rd, but now it looks like it's not the same. So looks like we missed something there, Jay. Never mind, it happens. Change for 3rd place.
Kun has got himself past. He runs very wide out of 14, and wonder if that will give a run for Black Goldsaw down the main straight. But I imagine neither of these Porsches have got the best straight line speed even against each other. It's their only weakness. Well, considering the pace they got around the corners, I don't think they're going to be too slippery to keep the thing stable. But Goldstall's definitely in this fight. It's not as if Kun's got himself away after making that move. But have to be careful because they got Macaulay and Hardier coming up from behind as well. And the leaders have made that little break away. But Merles is definitely still tracking Wenham up there. There's 0.6 of a second between those two.
Yep, it's slowly kind of settled, I think, in the top 3 so far. Looks like Mattis Kun, who we're watching from Black Goldstall's bumper, at the moment is just off pace slightly from these boys, but only slightly, just dropping back a little bit. Last lap, we were looking at a 1:45 dead, whereas the guys ahead are doing low 44s. So yeah, a little bit of a pace difference. Black Goldstall is in the 1:45 club as well, but obviously they were battling. We might get a more representative time this next time we go over the timing line. And then Joe Macaulay, Jardier, they're in the mid 1:44s. These guys are all lapping just as fast as each other, to be honest. It's quite good to see. Who's got the fastest lap so far? I think it might be Hugo Merles, 1:44.3. Doing a good job, Hugo. Second place so far.
Quite an interesting thing just on the exit of the fringes of the top 10 is Christoph, who's obviously had an incident early on that made that stop. He's plonked himself right into the fight between Mamad and Caracas. And I don't know, again, you have to enlighten me on blue flags in this league, but he's got the pace of these guys, and he's definitely causing a few issues. Being in there, but of course having made his mandatory pit stop, I guess he's kind of got every right to carry on at his speed.
Yep.
Not doing Caracas any.
I think
that's what I mean. Technically, it is, but
I don't know. It doesn't come up that often, to be fair. And blue flag cars normally do get out of the way quite quickly. It's not like a 4-hour endurance race where it's like blue flags. Well, you just have to put up with it until you can find a way past it. You should really be getting out of the way, to be honest, but hey-ho. And if you do ignore blue flags, it has been penalised before. I'm pretty sure if you're a constant blue flag ignorer, you do get penalised. So we'll keep an eye on that Bentley because, yeah, could be one for a little bit of a conversation a little bit later on. Grantis Caracas following him. He's got, is it Mamad just ahead? And that gap, it's unfortunately they've got a stop gap in the road there, and it's the Bentley. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that.
So I think that was actually when you said that that gap had developed a little bit between Hardier and Macaulay. It could have been instant, but I think they'd also got past that traffic. Well, I say traffic. He's got the pace of them, which is what's making it quite difficult. But he's definitely interesting. I'd call Air on the side of he has done his mandatory stop, so technically. That changes the picture a little bit.
But he's still a lap down, though, Joe.
He is. Anyway, back to the race. Morales has had a really good lap, and he's now right onto the back of Wenham. He's trying to use that Ferrari straight line speed down into turn 1. And not quite close enough that time, but he's definitely getting closer.
So JSR gives us a little bit of information. As Black Goldstall looks like he's coming under threat from Joe Macaulay. From what I understand, in GT3 you only have to not defend against the faster car when you're being shown blue flags. Other than that, I don't think you're obliged to let them by. So there you go. Surely as you're not defending or holding up the lead car, you're not infringing the blue flag rule. Well, there you go. There's the information. The thing is, if you are blue flagging yourself and you're in a train like this, you'll just constantly be letting people past, won't you? Constantly.
That's what I mean, and because he's made that mandatory stop as well, he's racing people. It takes a good minute and change to get that stop and pit lane time done. So, he can't afford to just move out of the way. And if he doesn't have to, and he's got the pace to stick with these guys, then that's fine in my books. But I don't steward it, so I don't know.
Maybe we'll get an answer from one of the coordinators, if Voodoo or Heiko or anyone's in the chat at the moment. We get a bit of a line on blue flag. That'd be interesting. We don't get it a lot, to be honest, Jay. It only happens if you have an incident lap 1, and 9 times out of 10 they find themselves out of the traffic. Just like to apologise for some of the messages that have come through from obvious bots, so boys, just ignore them. Or not, you know, your prerogative. I've hidden them anyway. So sorry about that.
Yeah,
anyway.
probably best not.
Best, yeah.
So Luke Whitehead continues his charge through the field. He's up to 15th now.
Jesus.
Your man of the afternoon or the evening, Felix, is going with him. He's still ahead of him in 14th. And Luke Whitehead doesn't seem to have been able to find his way past so far. And these two are just cutting their way through the field currently, up to 14th and 15th position. So, you know, he could still factor later in this race, Luke Whitehead. He's got the pace.
Yeah. I've got a funny feeling Felix just didn't qualify. Didn't get
That's
a time in.
quite possible, because this pace is definitely not representative of his position, where he started.
Yeah, he's obviously going quite fast. Luke Whitehead, has he got the lights out? Is he flashing there to try and get Felix out of the way? You got to do it the hard way, Luke. He's not going to bend over for you. You got to get on past, boy. And he does, by the looks of things. So we've got good weather here today, Jay. Nice and clear. A little bit cold though. The ambient temperature 22 degrees, track temperature 28. I mean, it's okay, as Luke Whitehead looks for a way past Felix. Doesn't happen there. Felix Hacker, lovely defence there down into turn 7. Why not? Turn 8 and then into 9. On the outside though, Luke there. That's a bit scary. Harem Scarum. Cut back though, down towards turn 10. He's got to run here, Jay. He's on the outside though. Early on the brakes, I think he can cut back. Oh, Felix just a bit hesitant there, braking into 10.
Yeah, you even with the Porsche's change of direction, you want the inside line there. It's too long around the outside. You lose too much time braking later, and Felix knew that, showed him to the outside, and Luke thought better of it. And, you know, Felix's pace isn't too bad. I think they're catching the guys ahead, but Luke definitely wants to find his way past as he skating all over the road, trying to look to the outside. He'll look to try and line up a move, but now the Achilles heel of that Porsche. We'll see what kind of setup Luke has got on it as to whether he can find any straight line speed. Felix immediately starting to weave around the track to break that toe. I'm not sure you have to be quite that drastic.
Oh, be drastic, fine.
In the muck. But,
look what's coming behind, look. You've got an absolute monster of Jura Petrochenko right behind you in that fast McLaren. You've got to be careful here. Luke Whitehead's going to be... Well, he's going to be caught in this sandwich of Felix and Jura. Definitely not where you want to be. Luke Whitehead needs to make moves and fast, Jay.
He does. He's starting to hit those drivers that are not too dissimilar in pace from him now. And there was some comments of some great defence of Felix. I completely agree. He's putting the car exactly where he needs to.
Oh.
And the pace difference is such that if he puts it in the right place, he can do that. You have to be so brave here at Barcelona to make moves around the outside of corners, because it's almost the inside line of all the slow, hard braking zones that you want. And if Felix keeps putting the car there, it's going to be very difficult with the straight line speed of that Porsche. But as you say, he's coming under pressure now from Petrochenko, who will have the straight line speed in that McLaren.
We did get a word from Heiko about the blue flags. It's up the inside into turn 10. Felix is going to nap him on the exit there. Unfortunately, Luke was wide and desperate and all locked up going into that apex. He jumped straight in. A bit of a dive there from Luke. Doesn't come off for him. Jura got first-class seats to that show. Unfortunately, Luke's going to have to try again in a minute. I know what you mean. He's driving angry, isn't he, Luke?
He is a little bit. I mean, Felix left the door open that time, unlike on the previous lap, and Luke just couldn't help himself. And actually very composed from Felix just to realise that he was going to go too deep. Got the cut back under him, got the drive and got back ahead. And I mean, he needs to worry too much about breaking that toe, because Luke Whitehead's more under pressure from behind. Petrochenko, with the straight line speed of that McLaren, it's the braking zone not quite enough on that. You're not braking too hard for turn 1. He needs to carry quite a lot of speed through these flying corners, so not quite to be doing there for Petrochenko. But it's a great battle between these three that we've almost forgotten about the battle up top. What's going on, Rich?
We'll have to come back to that in a minute. Trevor Wenham still leading. Hugo Merlis in second. Kuhn in third. Black Gold saw where he is. It's all holding stations at the moment, so don't worry. As soon as anything changes up there, we will let you know. I was saying, anyway, we've got a word about the blue flag. So, usual situation, lap car moving off the racing line and easing on the accelerator and straight, going wide, etc. So you do have to move. When lap cars did a pit stop, or lapping cars didn't, car being shown a blue flag has no requirement to move out of the lapping car's way and may stick to the racing line until the lapping car attempts to pass. When the lapping car goes for a move, the lap car is not allowed to defend. So there you go, he's got to get into the position where he's got to make a move on said lapped car if they have pitted first, because technically it could be a strategic thing to pit first, and you are back there, but you're going to come back a little bit later on. So that's exactly what you were saying, Jay. Might as well stay in your line.
That's where it gets a little bit tricky. I mean, Barcelona is not quite as cut and dry, but there are tracks where the lap is almost as long as that pit stop. So you may have pitted already and come back out almost in the same pack already, in which case you're not going to give time to them because you're going to lose it, and you've already made your stop and you'll be fighting them after they make theirs. But it's quite tricky round here, but there we go. It's we'll see. I'm just keeping an eye as well. I'm quite interested. We'll see a bit later on when it develops. Igor made a very early stop and obviously had great pace in qualifying. Presumably has got that damage taken care of, and he's currently the leaders of those that have already decided to make the mandatory stop very early, of which there are about 9 of them, but he's the front runner of those at the moment. So we'll see.
Lap as well, Joe.
Well, there you go. He's using that clear air, and we'll see when some of the front running guys come in as to what their sort of relative distance is to him. But keep an eye on it, because he's showing the kind of pace that could get him back into the fight later in the race.
Yep. I think so. Well, Luke Whitehead has managed to get past now, so that's the main thing. Felix has had to relinquish that place, and Jura Petrochenko is now next up to fight him, so we might see a change there. Or, to be honest, Felix might actually follow Luke Whitehead. They were going pretty toe-to-toe the whole time, and they're quite similar on pace, to be honest. Luke Whitehead's last time was 1:45.5.
Late lunch from Petrochenko, though.
Oh, goodness, it was. And he's made it stick as well into 10. Good stuff from Jura.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't want to hang about either then. And there's quite a bit of damage on that McLaren, so there's some pace to find if he wants to repair it in this pit stop as well.
It's whether it's worth the deficit though, Jay. That's the problem. They work so closely that, that 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds you stand still in the pits is worth so much time on track. You lose a chunk of race time by repairing that damage, so it's, I guess, offsetting how quick you can go without repairing it. Such is the way in an hour-long sprint with these fast boys, mate. It's tenths between them.
You might never get that time back.
Dennis Hyde says there's 142 watching here and over 1,500 watching Jadia's stream. Well, of course there is. He's a massive YouTuber with a huge following. This is pokey old AOR, mate, Grab some of those boys and tell them to come watch the real stuff if you want to. I mean, we've got 142 of the biggest boys all watching this absolutely fantastic race. Trevor Wenham still leading. He's got Hugo Merles for company still. How's your son doing? P13, Prentice, P13. He's doing okay, but he is in the Honda, so
well, that's an inside thing, is it? Prentice is your son. I thought you meant your actual son.
No, he is his actual son. That's Kieran Prendergast's dad.
Oh, how's Mike? Sorry, I thought you asked how your son was doing.
No. He's in 13th place.
Very confused now.
It's fine.
So that's a pretty good drive for that Honda.
Yeah. Jay, you'll catch up with these. I know all these people in chat. You'll catch up very quickly. It's all good. It's fine. So
Black Gold Score's got himself back ahead of Kun.
Did
finally.
He? It's not on the timing screen yet. Oh, look, he's managed to wangle himself round. I think we've got a pitter there. Joe McCauley's deciding he wants to get in as soon as possible. That's the first of the top runners. Right, Jay, you're going to now see where Igor is. It's the first time we've got someone at the top pulling into the pits. It can happen any time between now and past, I guess. So a lot of these boys will be watching eagerly where he comes out and what his pace is. Because
they can go longer than that if there's no window.
They can.
They could wait till the last 10 minutes if they wanted.
Not always beneficial on race time.
Not always. Sometimes is. Yeah, absolutely. That's the risk these guys will have to take.
Yeah.
But yeah, Black Gold Score make his way back through. He got overtaken quite a while ago, and he's tracked his prey back. And we'll see if he can now break away from Kun, who will start coming under pressure. Vardier, who's doing a pretty good job in that Bentley at the moment. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on McCauley and see where he comes out. I've got a feeling he'll be ahead of Igor, but
just watching Igor now is coming into turn 11. So He's definitely in the third sector, but I think Macaulay will probably be going now. Yes, he is. He's off and going. Who's he got with him? He's got Samir Foch with the Clown Fiesta Esports. Have a look at that livery if you want to laugh. It's fantastic. So there you go. First of the front runners to come in and pit. And how far back is Igor? He's a fair little run. Couple of positions. So there you go. There's your deficit from the guys who pitted at the start. A place, one position to Samir Foch, who was just behind Joe Macaulay. So it's not too far away. I think it's actually just one
we'll wait
position.
for that delta to work its way out, and we can work out whereabouts he will be tracking. I can keep an eye on that. So you can find something more interesting.
No, it's fine. I'm just looking at these.
Look out on track.
Looking at the Hondas that are taking part. One of them's part of the VTEC LOL team. I thought that's fabulous. Who else?
They do love to lull, those VTEC boys.
They do, constantly lulling. Kieran Prendergast is in the Butterfly Effect Esports. There you go. There's your sons. P11 at the moment, but lots of people
Got
pitted.
A lot of pitters. Yeah,
Black Gold Saw's in as well. One of the front runners pitting. We do notice, to be honest, Jay, though, some of the front runners, the likes of the Trevor Wenhams and the Hugo Merlers, they might go longer. Definitely might go much longer. So we'll keep an eye on how much longer they do decide to go.
Yeah, well, for these guys, it will be about trying to use that pace of the fresh tyres and then try and close some of the deficit that they are behind those front guys. But yeah, Wenham and Morales, probably maybe a lap or two they can go longer before they lose that deficit.
You'd be surprised of how much they do go longer.
Yeah, well, let's say there's a reason I'm here today commentating with you than being anywhere near the top few tiers. Because strategy works very differently from me to it does to these boys. They've got the pace to hold those tyres for a long period of time. But you never know. Black Gold Saw, was only, what, probably, they dropped about 4 or 5 seconds off the leading two. So
they had dropped a little farther back, yeah.
He can really fire up those tyres. He might be able to get a couple of seconds back. The problem is, when Wenham and Morales come out, they're going to have fresh tyres and will have the pace advantage back. So he's going to have to make these couple of laps count if he's to make that strategy in the early stop work.
Definitely. I'm just looking where Joe Macaulay came out after all of this. Black Gold Saw actually jumped quite a few people there, if you look, or at least did quite well. Joe Macaulay, the early pit stop didn't do him any justice. Look, 14th place. Mamid, Black Gold Saw ahead of him. So he did jump a few people by the looks of things. It was Samir Foch, I think, came out with him. He's in the Clown Fiesta, isn't he? Yeah, he is.
Interestingly, Valentin is ahead of Joe Macaulay. Macaulay had some damage on the side of that Audi.
He did, you're right.
So I think he's taken the opportunity to get that repaired, but that's put him behind some very quick boys now.
Well, he definitely hasn't repaired that damage, Jay. I'm just looking at the sidecar now. He's left it.
I'm sure Valentin was towards the back end of the top 10 and Macaulay was in the top 5, wasn't he? So he's definitely, even Valentin's has stopped a bit earlier than we've seen and had a blistering few laps.
He stopped with Black Gold Saw.
Damage. What, Valentin?
Yeah, he stopped with all the boys at the top when everyone came in straight after Macaulay. Not too sure what went on there. Maybe just Macaulay had a slow stop.
Well,
he's definitely been jumped, hasn't he?
Doesn't always repair that damage, and likewise, I think you can do one set of the damage, like you can do the suspension and the brakes rather than like the bodywork or something like that.
Okay.
He's definitely dropped back, and I can't believe he was 5 seconds slower in the pit stop. So.
Oh yeah, Patrick, we know. This is what we're discussing. Sorry.
Kuhn and Hardier have stopped, and that early stop for Black Gold Saw has worked out really well for him. That advantage over Kuhn is now 1.6 seconds.
Nice.
And he'd only just made the move, hadn't he? So he's found about a second and got himself comfortably back out in that next third. That will be now.
Yeah, Patrick, we were just discussing how much of the damage that Macaulay suffered from the turn 1 or 2 or 3 crash with Luke Whitehead. It looks like he's maybe done some stuff that we can't see, because there's definitely still damage on the driver's side pod. So yeah, obviously didn't repair the bodywork, but might have chosen to repair other things, because it looks like he's definitely lost some space, because he was around, he should be, with Jardier and Mamid up there a little bit, definitely with Black Gold Saw and such, because I've got a funny feeling he was right behind Black Gold Saw when he was battling with Kuhn. So
Yeah, so it was Black Gold Saw, Kun, Macaulay, then Hardier.
Yeah.
Those 4 were in a group, and then there was that little gap, I think, behind. Interestingly, that gap has come down. It's not 5 seconds between. Oh, but it was Gold Saw. The 5 seconds was 2, wasn't it? So, yeah, it is still about 5 seconds, and that little group is still tracking there. Mamad, Barrier, and Macaulay, and Foch has joined the back of it.
Look what's happening here. Black Gold Saw's managed to soar past Hugo Merlers, so that is technically net second in the race, isn't it? Hugo Merlers has come out of the pit behind Black Gold Saw, in between him and Kun. So done his pit there. When we go over the next timing line, you'll see Hugo Merlers fall all the way back down. I think as well as Grantis Caracas, he'll go down too, and Petrochenko will follow him. There you go. Now we're back where we should be. Black Gold Saw is in 4th, but technically that's going to be, well, very good. Trevor Wenham could be under a bit of pressure here. He's in the pit at the moment. Whereabouts is Black Gold Saw? He's going through, I think, 7 soon. I think Trevor Wenham might still keep it. All depends if he stopped yet. And he hasn't stopped yet. He's still trundling down the pit, Jay. Well,
Trevor Wenham was only about half a second ahead of Morales. So you've got to presume that Black Gold Saw will jump to the lead here. It's going to be incredibly close. Depends on how good a stop Wenham has and how bad potentially Morales' was. But I said Black Gold Saw needs to get out and fire those tyres up straight away. He did exactly that.
Yes.
And the early stop was potentially gifted in the net lead of this race. And with Morales taking a lap to warm up those tyres, he's dropped even further back. So there is a gap for Wenham to go into. Likewise, if he gets a really good stop here, he might come back out ahead, but it's going to be incredibly close as he's still stationary as Black Gold Saw comes around the final corner.
This is going to be incredibly close, Jay. Across the timing line. Going quick, fastest lap at the moment, fastest man on track. There is Trevor Wenham, just about to go into turn 1. But the thing is, Black Gold Saw's going to really eat into him here because he's got nice, warm, hot tyres. They're lovely and squidgy, and they're taking all of the apexes. Whereas Trevor Wenham, he's still got to fire up those boys.
Yeah, I mean, that gap looks big enough for that, but Black Gold Saw will definitely bring that gap down, maybe halve it by the end of the lap. That kind of suggests to me that it was Morales that had a poor stop.
Yeah, maybe had to fix some damage.
Well, I mean, a couple of seconds is within the realms of error in terms of, you're just not quite late enough on the pit entry line. You're not a little bit slow or at the wrong angle into your box, and the pit crew take a little while to pick up the car there. So definitely a good stop from Wenham. And once he does fire those tyres up, I think he'll move away. But as chat's saying, that is a 1-2 for the RA SimSport team.
It is. Definitely.
And what turnaround that is.
Shane picking up on the deleted messages there. I ain't sending nothing. I don't blame you, mate. I'm deleting them as quick as they get put up. I'm trying.
That's what they say.
I'm trying, mate. I am trying. Right, well, we know what's going on at the spiky end of this race at the moment. Trevor Wenham is holding on. He's going to have the nice rubber underneath him. He looks like he has actually fired those tyres up quite nicely. So 1-2 Race Anywhere SimSport. Come on, RA SimSport. You can do it. Climbing over the curb through 16. Nicely done there for Black Gold Saw, and he has actually dropped that gap quite nicely. Let's see what it is across the line. 2 seconds. So he nipped out a few of those tenths. He might just about hold that 2-second line now, but we'll see what goes on a little bit further. Matthias Kuhn getting very close onto the back of Hugo Merlers. The pace has dropped off as soon as those
I'd maybe
tyres.
look a couple of positions back. Valentine storming down the inside of Mamed. Mamed tries to hold it around the outside. They make contact. Mamed's going to try and hold it on the inside. Valentine will have the inside for the long right-hander, but they're just bumping wheels.
Here comes Macaulay.
Corner after corner, and Macaulay's going to try and get in on the action as that Ferrari gets shuffled out wide from Valentine. I mean, it was wheel to wheel, so I'd say there's nothing wrong in that.
Yeah, I mean, some might say that was a little bit of a push to pass, but I don't know. I think that's all fair, good racing there. A little bit of rubbing is definitely racing, Jay, as Joe Macaulay not afraid to go toe-to-toe, as we saw him doing it earlier on with Jardier in exactly the same place, but it looks like Valentine Barrier knows better of that and uses big old barge to push him out of the way, or at least hold position. Back goes Joe Macaulay into 7th place. No movement there. You've got to be careful, though. Mamed's got Samir Foch, the old clown Fiesta boy, right on his tail. Goes slightly wide, though. Samir Foch is going to make the use of that. don't think it looked as bad, or is as bad as it looks on the screen. It looks like, though, he has actually been taken there. I think Foch got overtaken by Grantis Caracas, and Grantis crashes into the side of Mamed. It's all going crazy in the back there. What are they doing? Absolute nutters.
I know, it's a very late move from Caracas, and to be honest, he wasn't afforded much room from Mamed. And Mamed will be driving a little angry after going from trying to attack defending from 6th place. He's dropped 2 places in that lap as Macaulay bars his way through as well, and he'll be under pressure. That McLaren, as we know, incredibly good in a straight line. He's getting into that slipstream. And no early move to defend from Mamed, so it looks like he's going to give Caracas the inside line later on the brakes. And textbook into turn 1.
Nicely done there.
Yes, that move down and up into 8th place. Mamed has a 30-second penalty. We said it was all fair racing. I don't think there's some people on the stewards that might agree with us on that one.
No, I don't think so too. I'm going to get a line from the stewards, see if we can find out what's happening with that penalty, because that one is a little bit spicy. Let's see what's going on with that. Get a line on what's happening. Okay, so we do have some bits and pieces going on. There's no further action.
The thing is, I mean, we'd have to see it again, but they both sort of merged onto the same line. I think not expecting the other car to completely beat there.
Yeah.
Because Macaulay came very quickly down the outside. And obviously, Whitehead thought he was fighting Wenham, but it was actually Macaulay that suddenly found himself on the outside of him. But yeah, they obviously decided no action needed.
This is taken a long time to come through, and I'm sorry if you're not watching anything fun on screen right now, because I'm reading all of the race control bits and pieces. There's a 15...
Been a good battle between 2 Ferraris, don't worry.
A 15
There's
second...
Samir Foch now looking to make a move on Mamed. Go on.
Oh, yeah, I can see it. No, I can see it on the corner behind. 15-second time penalty for car number 10 for causing a collision in turn 1 on the first lap. There's 2 licence points for that. So that's not very good at all. That's car number 10 was that. Let's see who's the perpetrator. That is Kieran Prendergast. Sorry, Prender Senior. Your boy's got himself 2 penalty points. Or licence points, sorry. Then, 30-second time penalty for car number 23 for causing a collision in turn 2 on the first lap. So that is car number 23.
So that's Mamed. So it wasn't the incident with Valentine. It was for something on lap 1 then.
Yeah, it was on the first lap. 3 licence points, slapped on his wrist. Then contact involving cars 10 and 58, no further action, and a 5-second time penalty for car 444 for causing a collision with car number 26. Sorry. So 444 is Kevin Niles. I don't know if he's still here actually, so never mind. But anyway, that's a little slow because you can't then serve those in your pit stop. I don't think you can serve 30 seconds anyway, can you? But still, would have wanted those before the pit stop, but it must have been a lot of looking into all of the documents and all of the videos to make sure they were giving them the correct amount of penalties.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, it needs to be a stop, go, or drive through to take... some of the lower end, I think some of the time penalties can hold in the stop.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's going to be race
did
time.
Go out afterwards.
I've got a funny feeling you can do a 30-second in a pit stop.
I think you're right. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't make any difference. But it's nice to know where you're going to be on track, I guess, by serving it before that. But
that's a shame.
It's going to drop them
almost to the back.
Pretty much the back of the field.
Will be to the back, almost. Yeah, definitely for Kieran Prendergast, that would be right down the back. Whether Mamed and Fish, it would all be round the back end. Unfortunately for those boys, never mind. Might as well park the car then, AJ. Black Gold Source.
No, never. You never give up.
Never give up. Black Gold Source still about 2 seconds back from Trevor Wenham. Hugo Merlers about 1.6 seconds back from Black Gold Saw as the gap kind of seesaws. Not really seeing much action there. Joe Macaulay inside of a second from Valentine Barrier. That fight's been going on for quite a while now, so we'll watch with bated breath there. I don't think there's anything else going on track apart from Jean-Marcel Dietrich and I think it's Kieran Prendergast have just swapped round. So those 2 guys are going toe-to-toe at the moment.
I would keep an eye on Merles. He's the quickest of those top 3 last time around by a few tenths.
He was actually.
Seems to have shaken off Kuhn and Hardier. So we'll see if there's a late charge from that Ferrari to ruin the day of the RA Motorsport boys. Or Race Anywhere SimSport boys. You know what I mean?
It's a lovely name. It's a lovely team.
It's simply lovely at the moment. Oh God, I always used a Apple phrase. I'm off out the window, but it's been nice being here. James McCauley, keep an eye on him. You know, he's back in the wheel tracks of Valentine Barrier, and if he did repair damage, then Audi showing a bit more pace at the moment. But it's not a battle that's easy to make his way through, because the Audi, it's very, very wide. The Bentley, it's very, very long. Very difficult for both those cars to negotiate their way through a move, but he'll try it, I think.
It's like trying to post a block of cheese through a letterbox, isn't it?
Yes. Is that the right way around? Maybe.
Why not?
Yeah, around a letterbox.
Depends on how big the block of cheese is, right?
It depends which way around the letterbox is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lots of shouting.
Well, I think we've hit rock bottom in our analogies, so is there any other battles going on?
I don't think so. This is a good one to watch, actually, Joe McCauley. Slowly building up a little bit of pace. And we'll keep an eye on what's happening with Jardier. He's getting up quite close to Kuhn. Hugo Merles, we're keeping an eye on his sector time. So it is really just managing what's going on now at the moment. Jean-Marcel Dietrich and Igor getting very close. 2/10 separates them. But there's 2/10 separates these two boys, so it's anyone's game at the moment, really. We'll jump onto the
It's a shame for Igor. He's that strategy hasn't worked out great for him, and because he stopped so early, he's really falling prey to those guys behind that are on fresh tyres now. And it does look like Dietrich is looking to make a move. But do let me know where we're looking, because I'm not.
It's all right. No, it's fine. We're on board with Joe McCauley at the moment. It's all right. No worries. We're on board.
There we go. That's probably a good one to stay.
Joe McCauley and Valentine Barry. It's a couple of tenths between them. They're battling for P6 at the moment, and so Joe's still got that little bit of damage, but he's just as fast as we think he is. Joel Freeman saying, so what you're saying, it's wide boy versus long boy? Yeah, pretty much.
Much more eloquently put than
rather than
letterbox analogy.
Jesus. I mean, it's definitely how the British measure things in cheese.
I can confirm that is just range. But,
close battle for P5 and 4. You're quite correct. It is very close. We're keeping an eye on these split times, and when they improve, we'll go straight on over. But at the moment, this is the best battle-ish on track. It just has, actually. Jardier versus Kuhn has got slightly better. But Joe McCauley has been having a fantastic race, actually, considering the tap that we saw earlier on with Luke Whitehead. Where is Luke Whitehead? He's kind of settled down.
It's P12.
Yeah.
He will be promoted to P10 with those two penalties, so at least get himself back into top 10 finish. Hardier thinks about a look into that corner and thinks better of it, but he's definitely looking menacing in the rearview mirror of Kuhn. And Morales is continuing his charge. He was 43-1 last time around. Black Gold Saw and 2/10 quicker than Wenham, so he's got some pace in that Ferrari.
Oh, you've gone quiet all of a sudden.
I have?
Yes.
Oh.
Come closer.
I mean, I can't be closer.
That's really, really strange.
Right, I can drop and come back.
Might have to. I can barely hear you. Right, I'm shouting down a hallway and all I hear is you kind of somewhat calling back.
Better.
Much better. He's back, people, don't worry. Much better. I can hear you nice and loud and clear. It's like I'm inside you right now.
Okay, no need for that. I think it is Hardier that is the close battle then.
It is.
Out of those, I was just saying, well, actually Muller's in sector 1 in that lap. I was going to say dropped a couple of attempts back again, but he's found it in sector 1 again. So he is on the charge in that Ferrari.
He's on average taking 2/10 or a tenth a lap or so out of Black Gold Saw. It's a slow crawl, but it is happening. The problem is he'll get inside of the second and the wash from the car in front might keep him there. I don't think he's catching. I don't think the deficit of speed is enough for Merlis to get close enough to make an overtaking move. He is the fastest boy there as he drops another further half a tenth. from those guys ahead. So we'll keep an eye on that slow crawl up towards the back of Black Gold Saw. How long have we got? 15 minutes. I mean, arguably, he can get to the back of him. He will get to the back of him before the race, but I don't know if he's got enough pace to actually make it happen at the end.
Well, as you say, it's that wash. But I think we got 3 battles that are in a very similar position. Black Gold Saw with Merlis, Kuhn with Hardiet, and Barrier with Macaulay. You've got to... The wash will be making it incredibly difficult with the margins between these drivers, with how quick and consistent they are. You're probably not going to be able to get past, but you can keep the pressure on. That's what you need to do. Just try to force a mistake. And for Black Gold Saw, I'm sure he's got confidence of steel, but he'll still want to. He'll still not like seeing that gap come down, and it starts to put a bit of doubt in the driver's mind. So once you get into that second, that's enough that the smallest mistake and that car can find a route through.
We're watching at the moment Jura Petrochenko and Felix going toe-to-toe. Jura Petrochenko is inside of a few tenths, but it's just dropped back in the final sector. That AMG Mercedes obviously quite good on its toes, leaving turn 16. Managed to pull away quite nicely. Jura Petrochenko suffering there with understeer and oversteer all at the same time. Managing to hold on to it and clawing out of turn 3, coming down to 4. Maybe Felix had a little bit of a wobble. But what an improvement for Felix. I'm just going to call him Felix Hackey because it's just easier. To come from last all the way up to 14th place. No penalties for him as well, so he'll jump to 12th. Almost inside the top 10 from stone plumb last. Absolutely fantastic race for him. And he's done it quite well. He's quite fast out there at the moment. His best time is a 43.9. It was his last time was a 43.9. His last time was his best time. Fantastic job from him.
Well, these two have swapped back around, have they not? Because we saw Petrochenko, yeah, there we go, into this corner now, actually, make a very late dive, didn't we, on Felix? A fair while ago. So Felix has found his way back through. So whether it was a mistake or whether Felix has made the move, but yeah, Petrochenko trying to make that move once again. But yeah, they've been gapped a bit by Luke Whitehead, understandably, considering his quali pace. But they're both still going along very nicely, and definitely a battle to keep an eye on, as is that battle between Valentin, Macaulay and Caracas that's joined the back of it now as well, and Hardiet within 3 tenths of Kuhn. So it's up to you where we look right now.
I know, it could be anywhere.
All over the track.
Could be anywhere. These cars are starting to swap themselves around after the race pace is kind of sorting out. This is a hour-long race, by the way. Track not rubbered in. Is this race settings, question mark? You were 20 minutes behind. Now you're up with us, hopefully. Track is definitely rubbered in. It was. The evolution did slowly get better as the race went on. So yeah, well done for spotting that. Then we've got some more penalties that have just come out, by the way. Kevin Niles looks like he's got a 5 seconds. So has Marcin Olejars got himself a 5-second time penalty. Not too sure what that's for. But yeah, I think we should maybe swap around and see what we can see going a little bit further up the field. Jay Gajani is 2 tenths back for Matthias Kuhn right now. And he's got to be careful because we've got the likes of Joe Macaulay, Valentin Barrier having a battle. Grantus Caracas is slowly being pulled along here by Joe Macaulay, so that's quite good.
Macaulay and Caracas, I think even Macaulay had to go very defensive, or they've actually got side by side somewhere because they've dropped considerably off Valentin. So Caracas very close, but yeah, as you say, Hardiet, you'd think with that closer run, with the pace of that Bentley against the Porsche, he's got a very good chance of having a run here. You can see Kuhn moving left to right to try and break that slipstream. Yardier is being forced to the outside. Kuhn wants the inside. Better on the brakes from the Porsche.
That was brave there from Yardier to keep the foot in. I was surprised he kept his foot down there. He was so close to the rear bumper of Kuhn, but managed to hold on to it.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll try again around the outside. This is the kind of battle you don't want to settle down. Once you've got that close and had that opportunity, normally the next few corners that you can try and force the mistake. But Kuhn driving very defensively and very well defensively at the moment to keep that lovely white Porsche ahead of him.
So Jardier 2/10 back from Kun at the moment. I have been watching what's happened with Merles. You know, we said that small crawl to the back, Black Goldsaw. It's not a crawl anymore. He's really there. 3/10 back, and he's fighting. Not worried about that wash that we were talking about at all. So I take it back. I think he does have the pace.
About to make another lunge though. Down into the hairpin. He's got himself the inside line. And if he can get ahead before they switch back to the right, which he does, he's got that move done. And unlike the previous heavy braking zones, who for some reason didn't feel the need to cover that inside, or Hardier forced it, I don't know, I just caught the back end of it. But with a straight line speed advantage, he should be able to defend down the main straight as well. Yeah. So from what's that, P10 on the grid, Hardier now up to P5.
Yeah, very good job from him. Has been given a little bit of luck from those around him, not having the best of races today. Macaulay, Whitehead, obviously. We saw what happened with those guys. Been given a few positions there, but great job from Jardier. 4th place currently, and he's going strong. But hopefully he doesn't get held up by Kun trying to take that position back. We'll have to see what that gap happens. It's 3/10 at the moment, but it could change. Talking of 3/10, Hugo Merles is right on that bubble behind Black Goldsaw. This is strange territory for me, Jay. Never seen Black Goldsaw being hustled like this before, especially from Hugo Merles. Hugo is normally a mid-pack campaigner, really, but having a fantastic season last season, just like Trevor Wenham did up ahead, and showing his real pace in this Ferrari this season. So much improved from Merles.
Yeah, I said those Ferraris look good round here, and maybe just a bit kinder on their tyres. And towards the end of the race, he's really starting to make some progress, as you say, made some strides in. And Black Goldsaw will desperately want to hold on to that second position, but it will also be doing his teammate Wenham a favour by holding him up, because I think Merles might have the pace with 8 minutes left to catch him as well. But he's got the incredibly difficult task of making his way through first.
Yes, he's got to find a way. Where there's life, it will find a way. Hugo Merles has got to work out the enigma that is Black Goldsaw. But I think he's doing quite well here. We'll keep an eye. He's dropped back a couple of tenths. Maybe that wash is coming into effect, Jay.
Maybe, and crucially, Black Goldsaw has a BMW ahead of him that he can grab a bit of draft off as well. Because there's no doubt that some of that lap time advantage for the Ferrari will be down that long straight, and maybe negated a little bit by the tow.
Thank you, Fever. He says he doesn't usually get to watch the broadcast due to practice race overlapping, but I must say, this is great. Excellent commentary. Thank you very much. Lovely to know. Good bit of feedback, boys. Fantastic.
Much appreciated.
Much appreciated indeed. Well, this is the race at the moment, guys. Hugo Merles, this is a race for second place. If Merles is able to work out Black Goldsaw, still 7 minutes on the board, can he have a go at Trevor Wenham, do you reckon? 2 seconds is the gap.
Well, the thing is, if it is tyre wear that is affecting these two teammates, then you presume the same tyre wear will be affecting Wenham. Wenham did pit a little bit later than Black Goldsaw. But yeah, he's got to find a way past first. He's going to have to do it in the next couple of laps. I'd also keep one eye over the shoulder in the background on that battle between Hardier and Kun, because Kun is not fading away after Hardier made that move stick. And it's definitely still in that fight. And I think Caracas has got past Macaulay as well at some point. I don't know if we
definitely didn't catch that.
I almost, yeah, I was going to say, I almost said I hope we didn't commentate on that, and I've forgotten, because I'm older than I feel.
We definitely didn't. We definitely didn't. He snuck past without us seeing, because we were so enthralled with what's going on further ahead. That must have happened when we were watching Jardier and Kun go toe-to-toe, because, yeah, we missed that one, unfortunately. Well, Joe Macaulay getting displaced by Grantis Caracas. He's set Tier 2 on fire in Season 8. Promoted himself to Tier 1 in Season 9, and he's right at the top step of Tier 1 in Season 10. So good moves from Grantis Caracas, and what a fantastic name he's got to boot. I think
he does, and look at the pace he's got, because he's already caught the back of barrier. Sorry?
I wonder what you were going to say then.
Oh, no, not
he
that.
He does, and look at his... And the first thing was pace. Thought we were going somewhere else, Jay. So down a dark alley, there's no way back.
You not know me after all these years.
Hugo Merles is really
That's the alley you go down. But yeah, he's already hustling Valentine, and McLaren coming on strong late on.
Oh, blimey. See, if this wasn't AOR, I would continue with that conversation, but we won't. We'll slightly
I noticed
gloss
that.
on. That's a hard anyway.
Morales still tracking Black Gold Sword. He's trying to work him out and work out where best to get the move done. That Ferrari doesn't seem to have the straight line speed advantage over a Porsche that maybe a Bentley does, but should still be a little bit quicker. But the thing is, that Porsche has such good traction to counter that top end speed. He just blasts himself out of 14 and 15. Lovely traction indeed. Look at the rear end traction on that Porsche.
Look at the rear end traction on that boy. Hugo Merles, I like your interpretation. Is it Merles or Morales? I like Morales.
Yeah, to be honest, this is my first race alongside you.
No, I'm all for Morales.
First race knowing a lot of these boys, so I'm very much interpreting, and I'm expecting I'm getting it completely wrong. We could both be wrong, but what we do know is he's threatening the 1-2.
He definitely is threatening the 1-2.
Currently.
It is. Yes, well, this seems to be the dream team to beat this season. Last season we had the Zebra team of the BMWs. Can't remember what it was called now. It was a fantastic team. We don't have those boys this season. They've gone elsewhere, unfortunately, but I'm sure they'll be back.
Caracas and Valentina side by side.
Oh, Jesus. Thank you
He
very
has
much.
made the move.
Yep, we can see
Valentine
that.
trying to force it back around the outside, and he gets the move done. Just caught the back end of it. Looked like he got it done into 5. Valentine thought about a move back around the outside, but Caracas has been on the charge. He was patiently sitting behind those two as they were battling, and he's now made his way past the pair of them.
He has indeed.
Up into 6th place. Great drive.
Good stuff for Grantis Caracas. Still the best name on the grid at the moment. Hugo Merles, then, we're still on board with him and his fight with Black Gold Saw. Or Morales. I like Morales. Morales sounds like a driver's name.
I think Merles, I think it is Merles, but because there's no E in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure why I'm saying Morales. Again, probably because I like the sound of it. But
Hugo Morales. It sounds like a fantastic...
Kuhn is climbing all over the back of Arnie, sorry.
Again?
Yeah, he was. It's into that chicane where that Porsche's got the great change of direction, but he just doesn't have the top line speed when they get back out onto the main straight. Hardier also getting a little toe from that BMW ahead. And still not over that fight, though.
Right, we're getting some news here. I think the French, there's an S at the end of the word. It's silent. And so it should be Merle, since the H is also silent. So it's Hugo Merles. Or Merle.
Yeah,
I like Morales.
Yes, Merle, I think. It's probably...
Hugo.
I do, but you can't call someone a different name because you like it.
First things
unfortunately.
first, it's Morales.
We'll go with Merle.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with Hugo. Fantastic drive from Hugo so far, the young Frenchman. Getting onto the back of the Dutchman, but not quite finding a way past as Trevor Wenham just runs away. Trevor Wenham's holding that position very nicely. The Englishman doing a cracking job there in the number 70, in the number, blimey, what number is it? Number 33. 33 and 88 is the boys in the same team.
Yeah, he's holding on, but Black Goldsaw in his attempt to try and hold on to that second place is actually catching him slightly. But obviously only 2 minutes to go. And 6th, 7th and 8th is not done either, because Valentine's hold on to the back of Caracas, and Macaulay has found the back of this trio now as well. And still some potential action going in here. From AOR history, obviously you've been the esteemed commentator for quite a while now.
Yes.
Do we see some day late and dollar short moves on the last lap or so, or are they all quite
Oh, hell yeah.
as calm as the rest?
Oh,
of the
no, hell yeah.
race?
It goes crazy. Oh, I think we had, we did I think it was a 9-hour at Donington. Might have been 9 hours. It was many hours at Donington, and it went down to like a 5-lap toe-to-toe battle between, I think it was Nico Uhl, or Nico Chan, was taking part I think with Black Gold Saw. Maybe not. It might have been Nico and Ryan. Nico Ull and Ryan. They were going toe-to-toe with another car that I can't remember, and literally they were trading blows all the way up to the line. Fantastic. To answer your question, hell yes, they go hell for leather at the end, and they will jump and try and get past each other. Wouldn't you? Surprise, surprise, though, Luke Whitehead unfortunately hasn't been able to take much time out of the guys ahead, because he's 5 seconds back from Mamed and Fisher. But normally, if you've got someone like Luke Whitehead in the top 3, and they're close, Luke will always look for a gap. Whether it happens,
I guess I was just trying to understand whether, they are more championship orientated or more race orientated. That's, for me, is always when I would make that decision.
Yes.
Because obviously with the penalties as harsh as we've seen, if you make the wrong kind of move, then you're losing a lot more than you're gaining. But second place is not to be snubbed at. So
I've got some news coming in. Prendergast ran out of fuel.
That's a catastrophic miscalculation.
That's a bad miss, that one. Never mind. Oh my god, I didn't realise we'd finished. Trevor Wenham coming across and getting maximum points this afternoon. Sorry, boys, we were too busy memeing our way through this race. Black Goldsaw claimed second place, and Hugo Merlers, unfortunately, didn't manage to get to the back of him. And we got a race going on further on back of the grid. Valentine Barrier coming across the line in 8th place. Joe McCauley manages to get 8th. They're all jumping up some people with penalties, I think. Samir Foch coming across in 9th. Fisher and Mamed will drop all the way back down there. Here comes Luke Whitehead. He will jump up 2 places. He'll finish himself in 10th place after that. I guess amazing comeback, but appalling start to his race. And now he's got a real fight on his hands for the championship. We got Naves coming through in 11th, roughly. Petrochenko in 12th, roughly. Hacker in 13th place. What a race for him. You see him coming across the screen now in the baby blue AMG Mercedes. Then we got Olejars, Jonkers, Igor, Dietrich. I think it was Petrochenko spinning in front of you there. Then we've got Bernd Chassit, and I think Niles and Co are still coming across the line. Sorry about the end there, boys. We were too busy talking. Kevin Niles finally does come across the line in 22nd place. We got Makowski coming across too. Connor Wright. What a terrible race for him in the Vanwall SimSport team. That BMW looks fantastic, but it doesn't look fantastic in 24th place, unfortunately for Connor. Wasn't a race for him today, but I'm sure he'll be back. He's normally a front runner, so not too sure what happened with him, but maybe we'll find out. Nico Ull joins us in the chat. Let's go. We were talking about you in endurance earlier on. There we go. I think that's the end. Dominic Goltz, not a good race for him. What car is Dominic Goltz in this season? He's in a Bentley. Okay, well, Revolution Sim Racing, they're a good team. Dominic Goltz, though, not getting the most out of that Bentley for where he should be. He should be right up there in the top 10, but not managing to do very good there. And Kieran Prendergast, I think, was one of the last runners, and he ran out of fuel, didn't finish the race. So there we go. That's the roundup. Sorry, Prenter, your boy ran out of juice. Trevor Wenham, though, hats off. Brilliant job from these boys. The Race Anywhere SimSport, locking out the front row. Maximum points for that team. Maximum points for Trevor Wenham. Black Goldsaw still gets a big old chunk of points. Hugo Merlers in 3rd place. And Jardier in 4th. That boy's doing good. He was doing good last season. He's doing good again, Jay.
Yeah, he always tends to race better than he qualified, and that was definitely the case with him making his way through the field. In a track that really didn't seem to suit the Bentley until the final couple of minutes of qualifying when we saw those improvements. But raced his way through to 4th place. A great result for him. Black Goldsaw, with that early stop, really got the strategy right there that allowed him to jump those groups. Obviously came under some pressure late on from Merle. But yeah, Trevor Wenham. I would be interested to see if Luke White had been up there. And Macaulay potentially, who obviously got caught up in that turn 1 incident as well, as to what kind of race we would have seen between the 3 of them. But, when you're given those opportunities, you take them with both hands. And Trevor Wenham did everything he needed to close off the win and put himself right in the championship picture.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll see where everyone works out with points at the end of this, but it's going to have a really good change in the championship standings. Black Goldsaw's going to get himself 88 points to add to his 65. So that's going to put him all the way up in 140, 50 odd points. He's going to have loads. Luke Whitehead, where did he come? Was he 12th or 10th roughly? He gets 39 points.
He'll end up He'll end up 10th because of those 2 penalties for Fisher and Mahmoud.
He'll get 39 points for 10th place, so that'll bring his tally to 139. Luke Whitehead will be displaced this afternoon by either Black Golds or probably actually Trevor Wenham will displace him. So yeah, well there you go. Normally though, we are joined by the boys for a little chat. I did ask them. They should be coming over for a little chat with us afterwards. But you never know. Let's see what they say and see if anyone jumps in. We can also have a chat between ourselves. What was the standout for you in that race, Jay? Trevor Wenham, Black Goldsaw, Merlers, or something else?
I think because of my pre-race sort of expectations of the Bentley, I've got to say Hardier impressed me. Like coming through to 4th place on a late charge in a race that was looking to be dominated by Porsches and Ferraris. Trevor Wenham, I mean, you can't go wrong with a win, but Goldsaw really impressed me considering the racing nous, I call it. It's the way you pick yourself through the race and get the right strategy at the right time. Really allowed him to maybe be a little bit further forward than his pace. So very impressed with that. And Caracas as well.
Yeah.
I don't know where he started, but I have the feeling he was quite a lot further back than
definitely in the top 15 or so, around that kind of area. We do have someone in for a chat. We got Hugo. He can clear up the Merlers question. So let's drag him in. So Hugo, I know, right? Hugo finished in 3rd place, the 3rd place run-up. Normally we get Black Gold Saw. I haven't spoken to Trevor Wenham. I have actually, but a little while ago. So you never know. These boys are probably quite sweaty. It's springtime, isn't it? So, maybe going to have a drink. Let's see what Hugo's got to say about 3rd place. Hugo, congratulations on 3rd place, buddy. Really well done. But before we get into all of that, how do you pronounce your surname?
Merles.
Yay! We thought so.
Yeah, you're not bad. You're not bad.
Good. We thought we got it right. Jamie was going through a little Spanish kind of fling to it, weren't you, Jamie?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Probably undeserved. But
going for a Hugo Morella's.
Yeah, exactly.
How did the race go for you though? There, I know you towards the end you were really fighting to get onto back of Black Goldsaw, and as we noticed, just ran out of time. Did you think at one point it was on the move could happen?
Honestly, it was difficult. At the beginning, I missed a bit the quali with the P4. I was hoping for the first row, but maybe it was a good thing because I was lucky at the start because of the crash with Whitehead and the Bentley.
Mm-hmm.
So I was P2 behind Trevor Wenham, and but we had almost the same pace. At the end of the first stint, he was faster than me. And I saw that the guy behind me taking the pit just before the race. But when I go to the pit, sadly, I missed my pit box by 10 centimeters.
Oh, no.
And I lost, I think, 2 seconds, which cost me the 2nd place. I was pretty surprised. I was a bit faster in the 2nd stint, maybe because the temperature were hotter than the first stint.
Yeah.
And maybe it was better for the Ferrari than the Porsche. And I was surprised to make the fastest lap. But I was a bit faster, but honestly, just a bit. It was too hard to catch Trevor and Black Goldsaw. The problem is that the Porsche is better in the last sector than the Ferrari. And even if I have more straight line speed with the Ferrari, it's too hard to catch the Porsche at the end of the straight. So honestly, P3, this is good. I was expecting for a win, but the Porsche are strong here, so it's not bad. And it was my best chance for this year because the Ferrari pretty good here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy.
Amazing result considering you were 20th last time out. Only got yourself 12 points. Now you've managed to slap on 79 points to those 12. I think you're going to be right up there inside the top 10 now in the points. So, opening up season 10 very, very nicely. So well done. I was
Thank
very
you.
impressed with your pace, actually, Hugo. I know I said normally you're a top 10 kind of battler. You're always there, but never quite get to the top 3. Whether it's condition, whether it's the race that we're in, or whether the strength of field is just there. But this season, there's a couple of spots that have become open, and those little spots are being, definitely. Made good use of, and you managed to squeeze yourself in there and getting a really good finish. I think it's the first, I'm not sure if we've spoken before. Is this your first podium with AOR?
Second
podium,
after Spa
yeah.
in season 9.
Thank you, Jay, with the information. So there you go. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've spoken before, but congratulations on another podium. So well done.
Thank you.
Hopefully, you never know. With your pace this season, you might be able to get onto the top step. If Jardier did it last season, mate, it's anyone's.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Let's hope. Thanks very much for joining us. We're going to get in the Dutchman you were just following. Stay there, Hugo. You always have a bit of banter with Black Gold Sort.
Yeah.
BGS, mate, you're in a Porsche. What's gone wrong?
1.8 happened. That one went wrong.
So let's start from the bottom. Porsche now. Why? Hello. What's gone on?
It's the only car for me that doesn't randomly snap the rear. Yeah, I know, that sounds weird. I can't drive the Bentley anymore.
These two sentences don't agree with each other.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah.
I mean, it's great to see you right up there. I still think you've got a bit of pace to find. I'm not being mean. I just think we know how fast you are. I think there's still more to come from BGS in this season.
I mean, 1.8 made me a bit slower. It's just tramlining and stuff like that. It's more difficult than ever. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's only going to improve you, isn't it, over time, I guess, by changing up these cars, trying something different. To be honest, I'm glad that you're giving it a go. I know you've had a couple of seasons sitting on the sidelines and cheering on all the boys, but this time you've mucked in and had a go. And it didn't go too badly on the opening, wasn't it? 5th place, 65 points. This time, obviously, coming away with a 2nd place, it's going to really open up the season for you. I think you're going to be sitting right up there, 2nd or 3rd in the championship after this race. Trevor Wenham, I think, is going to jump to the top. Yeah, great job, mate. And obviously, the team is winning now as well. Is this team a new little thing that you've made with Trevor Wenham? We all know how quick Wenham is. He had a fantastic season last season. Did you just grab him by the shoulders and say you're driving with me? How did that all come about?
Well, that happened actually a few months ago that I was in PPR, if you remember.
Yes, of course.
And we merged with PCDC into Race Anywhere SimSport. So,
really?
So Trevor was already in there. So
okay. Well, we like
Just
the
teammates.
PCDC boys. They're a good bunch of boys. So you've merged with those, and you've made yourself a new little outfit.
yes.
Gotcha. That's a good join. That PCDC did so well in the endurance stuff with AOR, and yeah, are they PCDC
exactly.
taking part in this season in Tier 1? I don't think they are. I guess you're doing it for them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
PCDC is a Race Anywhere as well, but
Okay.
not actually the drivers themselves are driving this season.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll see them back soon. I know they're all well into the AOR kind of family now, so hopefully we'll see them come into another season. I mean, season 10, it could be anyone's. This it really could be. With Life Story Luke crashing out on lap 1, he looked like he was a favourite. He looked like he was going to run away with it like he always does, and then crash out somewhere else. I want to see him back. If he decides to fall off and chuck it in mid-season, you tell him no, Luke. You never know what's going to happen, because I want to see him racing every week. It's a shame.
Yeah, he'll be back.
He did very well to get back to 10th place. I think it'll be 10th after what happened. So he'll be right up there, but I think he might fall down the standings. But anything can happen. So don't let him run away. Well, guys,
Never give up.
We'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see you next week. Thanks very much for jumping in for a chat, as always.
Yes.
As always.
Thanks for commentating, man.
No problem. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the race. And we'll see you soon.
Yes. Take care, guys.
No problem.
Thank you, guys.
See you soon.
Bye.
Hugo. There we go. Black Gold Sort, Hugo Mellers, 2nd place, 3rd place on the grid. We didn't get to speak to Trevor Wenham. Never mind. I heard he had to go catch a fish. Jay, anything to end on?
No, I just thought I'd say AOR incredibly prompt with the standings. So it is Wenham in the lead of the championship with 172. Black Gold Sort 2nd for 1-5 on 153. So Race Anywhere 1-2 currently in the championship. Then it's Valentine in third with 141. Luke Whitehead drops to fourth with 139. It's Hardier running out for the top 5 with 120.
There we go. We've just got those up on screen, boys, so you can all have a look at that. There we go. So yeah.
But no, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you, AOR, and to you for having me along. Hopefully I didn't do too badly.
No.
I'm sure I'll get better as we go along, but thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, it's just great to watch these drivers so highly skilled and so close on track, having the kind of battles they did that were going on throughout all the way till the end.
It was a roller coaster for sure. It was a Spanish bull ride to the end. We're in Bathurst next, Jay, so it's going to get even more crazy.
Oh Christ!
Black Gold
I'm
Saw
not racing in that one.
It's going to be Black Gold Saw in a Porsche round Bathurst. What more could you ask for? It's going to be absolutely crazy. But never fear, guys. There's more coming. If you tune in tomorrow, same time, 7 o'clock. Race goes live at past. Roughly tune in at 7. You can see the Tier 2 boys with Timosaurus and oh blimey, John Watts. Join us for Tier 2. Same time, same place. I've heard it's pretty spicy over there in Tier 2 at the moment. But we've got Christian Steinhauber. I know that name from Endurance. Daniel Paschke as well in 4th place. So yeah, that'll be a good one. Remy Papin has fallen back into Tier 2. Oh dear, but never mind. He'll be right up at the top. So if you want to see what happens with the Frenchman, jump in tomorrow and watch them go live for another hour around Barcelona with AOR for the Tier 2. It's been a pleasure, Jay. Welcome to AOR. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you all next week.
Thank you. In a bit.